I'm assuming we're streaming live, so I'm just going to continue going on. It has been an absolute blast this entire tournament. MLG's Spring Championship in Anaheim, despite the fact that we're not there, has been unbelievably busy. I'm just seeing in the chat that we are getting ready to set up the game and get ready to go. It has been a privilege to be able to finish off with Stream D, but that being said, we are getting close to the end of the tournament. So being able to come over to Stream C and give you guys a hand, well, I am extremely privileged, and I'm honored to be able to work with you. I've listened to your casting all weekend long. You guys are absolutely freaking awesome.
Awesome. I've been trying to watch some of the video on demand. Stream A and B are subscription only. For some reason, C and D aren't, so I was actually able to watch some of your cast. Does your, were you alone with your partner, or did you have a third person?
We did have a third person. We were casting yesterday evening. It was both Joj, myself, as well as Promise as our producer yesterday. Unfortunately, Joj's computer basically got hit with a virus yesterday evening, and as a result of that would blue screen on boot up. So he's formatting the drive and trying to get it up and running. Unfortunately, as a result of that, Joj and I have been casting the entire day between the two of us. We've been having an absolute blast doing it. It's been very, very busy, but at the same token, we've been able to adapt and overcome very, very well with it. And it's been a lot of fun, to be perfectly honest. There's a lot of production that we were doing on top of that, but I think at the end of the day, it was an excellent experience. Joj is a consummate professional. He really knows his build orders and his strategies. He's a very, very good StarCraft player, but additionally, he's also a very, very good announcer, and I'm going to be looking forward to working with him down the future.
Okay, so I'm gonna have Word observe for me. Your camera never actually came up, which you got the little spinny symbol, but we are going into this game. The first map being Belshire Vestige. It is a TVZ against So and Axiom's Heart, so we'll see how this lines up. A very good map for creep spread.
Yep, So is going to be a very, very good player. I was watching him. We actually wound up casting the match between Golden, where he took a 2-0 victory over Golden. He is a very fast Zerg player. He is capable of some very early aggression. And in the ZVZ game, and in fact, he actually secured a victory in the game number 1 in under 6 minutes. So is going to be somebody you can take a look at. I'll introduce him really quickly. He is the red Zerg up in the top left-hand corner. And then...
Oh, sorry.
I apologies. Please introduce the other player, if you don't mind my asking.
Spawning in the bottom right-hand corner in the blue trunks, we have Axiom's Heart.
Total Biscuit's got to be pretty pleased with this. He's one of the casters on the main stream, but he is also one of the, I guess he's one of the co-owners or supporters of Axiom Esports. I know that his wife, I believe it's Jenna Bain, she manages this, so... I know that she's probably there on site right now, not only assisting Total Biscuit with his administration and all that other things that she does, but on top of that, also administrating the team members that have joined. So, and with his performance, yes, he's in the losers bracket. It is the round of 7, though, so he has advanced quite far indeed in this tournament. And I am sure that they are very, very pleased with their player Heart.
If you could do me a quick favor, we'll get the tech side of this set up. What number is Word currently in the observers' numbers?
And Word in the observers numbers, I don't have that overlay on in my screen right this moment. I'm actually using the UI user interface for MLG, so unfortunately I don't know what it is right off the get-go.
Okay, well I think I have him. He is my observer this time, so I can focus more on commentating and less with the flashy camera gimmicks. We do have the supply depot going at the top of the ramp, so he's definitely going to try to wall off against the Zerg. Always a good idea when you don't quite know what's going out. I don't think he's scouted yet, so he doesn't really know what to prepare for, though. Nothing fancy. We do have the hatch first coming out of so definitely a macro game.
Yep, absolutely. You can see that also command center being thrown down as well, so it looks like a CC first and then into the barracks as well. So this is fairly standard by both players. In a Zerg versus Terran matchup, we definitely want to be able to see Terran being able to try and take that natural about as quickly as he can. And also Zerg, I mean, if we do take a look at it, he did throw down his pool after the hatch, it looks like, yes indeed. It's safe enough in this particular matchup. And both of these players are going to be fairly convinced that they're not going to be doing any kind of rush or cheese tactics. The Overlord is going to show up, see what's going on, and regardless of that, he knows that Reapers are not going to be out for at least another minute and a half or so. So yeah, taking that hatch first, really safe, really standard. The spawning pool is going to finish up. There should be 100 gas by the time it does, and we can expect Zergling speed fairly quickly after that.
Definitely, and watching Hart before, he definitely loves his early Reapers. They do really well. He rarely ever loses them, and with the main base, there's a lot of landmass to actually cover if you're trying to have constant sight, so it's really easy to drop in on pretty much any race. With that amount of space, If I can talk correctly, a lot of Zerg players have started to extend creep spread throughout their entire base, so they always have view of any sort of drop that can happen.
Yeah, that's always wise, and it's a very important thing. Like you say, this is Belshir Vestige. There's a very real possibility of drops being played. There's an awfully long distance run around in order to be able to snipe down drops that are escaping. So drop play from the third down south of, in this particular case, is of So's position, is a very quick transition by air, but not by ground. With regards to the natural, it's about a straight path for the ground as well as air. So dropping between the two is not going to be very popular. But that being said, dropping between the natural and the third base to the right of the natural is going to be somewhat a bit of a trick because of the fact that you can transition very quickly by air. Ground's a little bit slower, but not a whole lot. We will expect to see drop play. Terran is notorious for doing it, and Hellbat drop play is currently the meta game as it goes with regards to TVZ.
Exactly, and with the factory actually coming down as well, no Reapers like I was actually expecting to. He was saving up that gas for the quick factory. I'm really wanting to see if So is going to go for a third really early. He is actually supply blocked right now, and he's not building any overlords, which I find a little strange why he would allow something like that to happen, especially when he needs to win this match so badly. There goes the overlord. So really supply block, stacking up some minerals. Maybe that's not an issue to him, though. He does have a drone set up and ready to make that third.
Yep, and in fact, that third goes down very, very quickly. Right after is, you're absolutely right. In fact, you're almost like it was a premonition. You knew the third was coming, so exactly, you're right on the money. The third going up, of course, this is standard Zerg play. You always want to be ahead of your opponent by at least one base. So a two-basing Zerg, unless the build is going to be precisely that. Say, for example, like a Roach Hydra two-base all-in push. You're going to obviously stand two bases. But in this particular game, he knows his opponent is going to wall up the front. And as a result of that, he's going to take that third, get himself a little bit of additional economy edge. It's not too crazy aggressive a third. I've seen some very aggressive thirds getting thrown down before 6 minutes in this tournament. So this is going down, I guess I would say it's late, but it's timed very well.
Yeah, and we do see the armory that's finished up and the starport immediately after, so we know he's going for heavouts. 2 already in production. He's getting 2 more barracks added on. He is going for stem, so he's adding a lot of bio into this composition. He doesn't want to focus just mainly on the Hellbats. The third is about to finish, and at this point, there's only Roach Tech coming out of So, which is a little concerning. He hasn't done much scouting past this. He doesn't know that the Hellbats are about to just drop into his base.
No, and I'm actually a little surprised at this. He was scouting... Well, I stand corrected. He wasn't scouting a lot during the matches that we were casting earlier on this evening against Golden, but at the same token, I'm sure that he knows it's coming. He does have queens, fortunately, at each site, but he's going to need something a little bit more. He does have roaches on the way, or rather, he does have a roach horn up. He hasn't started producing any. He does have a bandling nest coming as well, and we do have a couple of Hellions working across. And these are scouting Hellions. They're not out to go kill every single drone that's on the map, but they're taking a quick peek, seeing what's going on, and getting a feel for things. And of course, the Zerglings are going to show up and try to eliminate them as much as you can. This is going to force a retreat, and Zerglings in a hot pursuit. But like you say, not a whole lot of scouting going on. So if these Hellbats are able to remain undetected and a drop can get out, that's going to spell a lot of disaster for So.
Yeah, and we have the roaches actually coming up to the base. There's nothing in the bunkers and only one Marauder, the only thing that can get in that bunker. A ton of Banelings morphing in. That is a lot of Banelings for this early. I don't think he has enough to defend this. If we look at the RB supply, it's 41 to 37, so he has some units, mostly in Hellbats. Banelings don't really do all that well. They soak up a lot of damage. However, with that amount of Banelings, I don't think it's matter. We do have a drop. There's only a queen here. We do have a couple of roaches about to pop. Immediately goes to that bunker. Amazing hits. He needs to go for the SC. Oh, a lot of them wasted. Banelings come in. Looks like a lot is being wasted on nothing.
Wow, this is a really good push. A lot of Banelings did get shut down. It almost looked like Hart was trying to actually shield his units from the Banelings by allowing the SCVs to actually eat it. And unfortunately, as a result of that, there's still a large number of roaches left. We do see that there's a couple of Hellbats, some Marines, and a Marauder coming down the ramp to try and take care of things. There is the support of the medevac. It might be enough to push out. I don't believe it is. There's just enough roaches there. A nice little Banling hit is going to soften these things up, and a quick pickup and a drop to the high ground by Hart is actually going to rescue those particular units. But the low ground, the natural, I think is pretty much a write-off at this point.
Yeah, and with the Banelings there, they're just going to roll right up. There is obviously no speed upgrade. Too early in the game. There's a stim forward. I feel like he's trying to overextend. He needs to focus more on the defense of his main at this point. The natural, though, looks like it's going to burn out if he's not careful. There is a medevac over here that is not loaded. I'm not quite sure what it's doing when he needs to be focused on defending this. he is retreating with these roaches, so, I mean, it's just very up in the air. He is finally getting marine shields, so it seems a little late, and 2 more Hellbats are on the way. These banelings are getting picked off one by one. Supply depot does go down, however, though he is nowhere near his supply blocked.
No, he's not. This orbital command is getting repaired. He's going to float on over the starport. But there is enough units here. The 2 Hellbats out front, along with the 3rd one that's coming down from the back, plus the Marauders and the Marines. There's enough here to address this. As long as So is not able to really reinforce this very, very quickly, he should be able to hold it together fairly well. He doesn't have any upgrades, neither does his opponent. So doesn't have any real bonuses to any of these units, but unfortunately a lot of Zerglings have shown up, a lot of Banelings have morphed in. I think you're absolutely right. There's just not enough that he's going to be able to hold this. Yeah, and with the income, So is already making an extra 500 just in minerals per minute, so it's slowly going to keep pushing to his favor. More Banelings morphing out. Just so much damage these inhibitors. They are pushing up. Marauders are off the front though, so those absorb a lot of the damage. Don't know if any will make it to the main army. There's only a couple Marauders left. They're trying to get to those Marines, pushing up. Just everything is falling. There's barely any units left. I think this is going to be GG. Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. We've got a couple more SCVs, unfortunately, eat another Baneling hit, and they do check out as well. Roaches are going to kite slowly as they take away each and every single worker. I'm very happy to see that Hart is not giving up, though. He's absolutely trying everything in his power to try and stay in this game. But realistically, there is a point when you are behind, and then you are not going to get ahead. And I think Hart knows that this is inevitable. And I think once the next wave of units shows up, he should be hitting the GG button fairly quickly. Yeah, definitely. With 33 to 98 at this point, it would take a miracle. So is now making double the income. 12 Harvesters to 55. He's going to try everything he can. There are more units coming in from the Zerg base. He's trying to build as much as he can with what little he has. 2 more Hellbats and a few more Marines and a Medevac, actually. I'm surprised he had that much stacked up to actually keep this going. Zerglings, though, are coming in, getting a decent surround on pretty much everything and just cleaning up what's left. Oh yeah, absolutely. And they're just going to keep pecking away. So is not going to be wasting this. He knows it's not game over just quite yet until the GG shows. He is upgrading getting some upgrades. He's getting melee attacks plus Carapace, as well as getting Glial Reconstitution, Roach Speed. And he's also creating additional units. He's not sitting on his laurels and doing nothing. He is continuing this on as though this game can go on for another 25 minutes. And he's preparing for a later game in the event that that Hart pulls something out. And as you can see, Hart does not give up. This is a common trait with South Korean players. They know that when they're in the tournaments, especially when they're in the losers bracket, that by giving up, you're out of the tournament. And he is not going to give up. He is going to basically continue until all of his workers and all of his units are dead. Yeah, with 13 more Banelings morphing, I mean, the Hellbats are still being produced. 3 SCVs are being produced at a time. I actually didn't realize he had a 3rd CC somewhere, so he's definitely pumping this out. A lot of Roaches coming behind these Banelings. Take a look at the army split, 60 to 32. He's going to push forward. The Banelings are moving in. The Marines having GG. He knows it's just too big of a force, taking the first game 1-0. Wow, a very decisive victory, I must say, with So. Very happy to see that. As I was trying to say, he has a very well thought out, very aggressive style of play. As you did mention early on in the game, he doesn't scout all that much. But I think with his build and his concepts that he's using, he doesn't really need to. This is a very hard-hitting early attack. It's going to take advantage of the fact that it's going to take a bit of time for the Terran player to be able to get to that critical mass of Hellbats and Marauders before he can attack. So it looked quite good for him. Definitely. Well, we're going to go to a quick commercial break. We'll be right back and see if So can take this 2-0 or if Hart's going to make a comeback. Don't go anywhere. Yep.